Hey guys, it's Carter from Carter's Auto Detailing, and in this video we're going to be doing a full interior detail on this Camry right here. So that means we're going to use the extractor, deep clean the hard surfaces, dress the hard surfaces. Now as you guys can see here, the interior is not too bad actually on the back seats. Yeah, we have some like minor stains here. We have a little bit of dog hair, pretty easy to take care of, but on the front seats here we do have some serious staining issues going on here. As you can see on the passenger side, we have some right between the crevices and in the main seat. Same thing for the driver's side, however it's a little bit lower right here. Same thing for the fabrics, not too crazy, just a little dog hair, dirt and debris. The plastics as well. I don't know if you guys can catch it on camera. Oh yeah, you could see it there. There's a lot of dirt, sand all over the plastics, but luckily we're going to clean all of that out and dress it accordingly. Now if you are a car enthusiast or a car professional, make sure to stick around so you can see the befores and after of the detail, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so that way you're notified with every video that I upload. So let's get straight into it. Interior details are fun to work in, especially when the vehicle is filled with all sorts of surface contaminants. This vehicle has stains, pet hair, dirt, and on the hard plastics, a more gritty type of dust, almost like sand, that is hard to mop up with a simple wipe down. In this interior detail, I will show you guys my process on how I deep clean the fabrics, surfaces to the best of my abilities. Right away, I start with the vacuum to prep the fabric surfaces for the extraction. I remove the floor mats ahead of time, so I'll show you those in a minute. The driver and passenger side floors were thoroughly brushed and vacuumed to get most of the rocks, dirt, and definitely pooch hair out of the way. Not the worst carpets I've seen, but for sure have seen better days. There are a variety of tools a detailer can use when trying to vacuum the stubborn hairs of a pooch, such as rubber-based pet hair brushes, rubber blades, or even using the classic yet very laborsome brush. All of these have their benefits and use cases. The only limiting factor is the wielder. Focusing my attention to the carpet floor mats, there is a lot of dog hair tangled onto the fibers. Mats are a lot easier to work with given the variety of methods you can use. You can shake off most of the dirt, and in worst cases, just use a pressure washer to rinse a majority of the dirt and cleaner away. Here, it wasn't necessary since the mats were not that dirty to begin with, so a good vacuum and brush would simply do the trick. Now, if you are a mobile detailer being tasked with a really nasty interior, I would recommend asking the owner to drop off their car at your location if possible, because you don't want to attend a job site only to realize that you're out of resources or time to finish the job. Now, I am not saying it is not possible, it is just that depending on the vehicle and location, you might end up in a sticky situation where you might not have access to resources, especially in apartment complexes. It sounds like an exaggeration given the endless amount of detailers being able to do deep cleans like this mobilely. However, given that I am a one-man crew, it's just not efficient for me to haul everything to work with risky circumstances. So having the car dropped off, I can ensure a quality clean, controlled environment, safe reliability, and most importantly, peace of mind for the owner. With the mats prepped, I pull out my handy VacMaster extractor to move on to the next step of the deep clean. Now, before the vac gets its screen time, the mats are first introduced to an APC, which is then agitated with a drill brush to loosen up any fibers and allow the cleaner to get into the nooks and crannies. This will allow the APC to foam up slightly and help encapsulate any dirt or grime that is stubbornly grasping onto the fibers. I like to use Super Clean diluted 4:1 to help deep clean any dirty carpets. Not only does it do a great job at cutting down grease and grime, but its foaming abilities while leaving behind a soft yet clean scent makes the process much more enjoyable.
Onward the extractor it goes as it sucks up all of the dirt. Now, surprisingly, the mats were not that dirty considering how much time had passed since its last deep clean, or if it even had one to begin with. This mat is located in the front passenger side, and the owner said they don't really take passengers, but you can definitely see that there is grime being pulled off of the mats. For really light dirt like this, you can just agitate the cleaner and wipe with a microfiber towel. But with floor mats, I wanted to be sure of a clean surface, so I proceeded with the extractor. Now, the driver's side mat definitely has more gunk for obvious reasons, so same procedure with the spray, agitate, and extract process. I like to spray a little bit more since the driver's side is the most occupied section of the vehicle, so enjoy this little clip of dirt and bubbles making its way into the vacuum. Now, detailers must be cautious when handling stains because not every one of them can be easily extracted, so it is always important to set expectations for the owner when handling stains that have been neglected for some time. It's not to say that you can't do it, but there are limits as to how much you can work on a stain until the cleaner begins to work against you, especially with high alkaline or pH carpet cleaners that have the potential to permanently stain fabric when over applying or overworking in a small section. Here I do a test pot to see which cleaner would be ideal to remove the stains without introducing strong chemicals, but as you can see that is not the case with my brush and extractor turning a bit red and brown in color. The owner informed me that some coffee had been spilled onto the seats as well as melted crayons, to which both had been left for some time without any treatment, so this won't be a simple once-over. Neglected stains like these will require multiple passes with the brush and extractor, as well as a stronger cleaner to ensure a high percentage of stain removal. Now, as you can see, doing another test spot with more agitation and a stronger cleaner, I had definitely brought back the jazz of the seat, but there are two circular spots present, the left being melted crayons, and the right being a more stubborn stain. I proceeded to give it a couple more passes and applying more cleaner on those spots, and despite going the heavy duty route, the crayon stain just simply won't come out. Now, compared to what it was before, this is miles better. However, because crayons have waxes and color pigments, and also, given the fact that this was neglected for a long time, unfortunately, this isn't going to come off. Still, at least the overall stains and dirt was uplifted, bringing back life to this jazzless seat. With the bottom section of the seat treated, I move on to the next sections with the same procedure. There was definitely a lot of coffee being pulled right out, and thankfully it was an easy process that came out within 2 passes. With that finished, I then focused my attention onto the next part, which was the carpet floor. Now, because the carpet was covered with mats and that the owner rarely takes guests, I wanted to check how much dirt was present with a spray, agitate, and wipe method with a lighter cleaner. And to no surprise, there was almost no dirt in the vehicle. It was such a light layer of dirt that there was no need to introduce strong chemicals, soaking the floor, and the big one of all, wasting time. Now, the upper portions of the back seats were the same situation. No stains, just a light layer of dirt and pooch hair. So, a lemony citrus-based fabric cleaner was applied and then agitated with a drill brush. It has a high foaming formula, so it was lightly misted with a gentle spray bottle across the seat to avoid the endless battle of wiping and reactivating the suds. Now, if you are a detailer, I found that spraying a light amount of distilled water can help stop the flood of bubbles if you are one of the unfortunate dealing with a situation like that. Unless you are extracting, avoid using pump sprayers or adjust the tip so that it is more of a mist than a soaking spray. Portions of the back seats have a fair share of stains as well, so unlike the upper portions, this will get a deep clean with a stronger solution and extraction. So enjoy these cheeky shots of muck being pulled straight out from the seats. The driver's side was definitely caked with coffee residue, so multiple passes from the brush and extractor are necessary to achieve an appropriate level of clean. Now, as you might see, I am putting more cleaner than usual, but that is okay because with really hammered stains like these, you want to ensure that the agitation process has enough dwell time for the cleaner to soak and loosen up the stain so the extractor doesn't struggle on sucking the gunk out. Now, I did say there will be a point where the cleaner will work against you, and it is true given the dilution ratio I'm using, but because I am dealing with a neglected stain, you can bet your chances with the amount you use. Just don't allow the cleaner to oversaturate, over-agitate, and definitely do not let it cook in the sun since heating a cleaner raises the pH level even higher. Now that the interior fabrics are drying off, I then move on to the hard surface deep clean. It is a process of cleaning every hard surface with an APC and protecting it with a plastic or rubber dressing. Here on this door I apply Maguire's citrus-based APC, which was then agitated with a brush. I really love this cleaner because as you can see it has a low foam reaction, which is what most detailers should aim for if they are looking to get into the nooks and crannies, because nothing is worse than thoroughly cleaning only to realize that there is still cleaner residue still dripping and reactivating with every brush. Areas like door handles, buttons, and window switches are small areas where a brush can clean but a towel cannot mop up. This is when attention to details is important because in the real world it is not what you have cleaned, but rather what you have overlooked. Cup holders or storage areas are an interesting area of the vehicle to work on because not only is it dusty to oblivion, but any horizontal surfaces is met with all the particles that go in and out of the vehicle. This can be lint, dog hair, dirt, ash, crumbs, and many more unsightly things for your eyes to witness. For my fellow detailers, it is a good practice when encountering these areas to check your brushes or towels for excess grime, because you don't want to be smearing muck all over the freshly clean surface only to have to do double the work, double the time, and double the product. As a detailer, cleaners are one thing, but if you don't understand its chemistry, you might be using the product incorrectly or unaware of what is happening visually on the surface. As you can see, my low foam cleaner is starting to foam up, so this tells me that the surface has a lot of grime sitting on top of it. So in other words, the cleaner is doing its job and is letting me know that more agitation or another pass is called to order to ensure a squeaky clean surface is achieved. Now, that or something is going on, such as a poorly painted surface or something like alcohol or harsh cleaners was wiped over, leaving a residue behind. For that, I would constantly check my brush or towels to see if any paint transfer occurred. If that was the case, leaving it without protection would result in a bare surface which would oxidize and crack under the rays of the sun. The dash and center console also had a similar situation where the cleaner is foaming up more than usual. This doesn't happen to me too often, but when I ask my clients when was the last time they had a detailer, it is always either their first time, they had never cleaned the interior, or they decide not to go to the car wash tunnels anymore. Given that cheap car wash services that supposedly clean your interior are actually damaging it, not at the moment but in the long run, because time is a driving factor for those places, they use harsh chemicals to clean out every surface no matter the condition, but do not follow up with a protective dressing. This will leave your plastics to oxidize, fade, and crack, which further makes you lose the value and the jazz for your vehicle. So if you really care for your vehicle, I would seek a detailer's help or watch my future videos on how you can maintain the value and jazz of your car. Now for the cherry on top, the protection phase. Here I add a water-based dressing from the Detail Garage Company. I like this dressing because it gives off an OEM look or satin finish without leaving any streaky residue behind, so easy on and easy off. This was applied on all hard surfaces, and even though the dressing can only be appreciated on dark colored plastics, it will protect the covered areas from the harsh UV rays and make the surfaces slippery soft. Now, there are different tastes on how much shine the dressing should emit, and while shinier is nice on other surfaces, it definitely should not be applied on the interior, which will give off a very low quality detail or toy car look. Not only that, but having too much shine on the dash can beam the sun onto your eyes while driving, so from a safety standpoint, that is a big no-no in my detailing handbook. Now, that is only my opinion for dressings. You can add whatever amount of shine on your interior, but at the end of the day, too much shine can make other surfaces be unsightly or not pop out. One simple dust wipe down later and this detail is complete. This wasn't the worst vehicle I dealt with, but not an easy one given the circumstances. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned a thing or two in this video, because details like these take some time to work on, record, and edit. So I'd appreciate it if you guys can drop a comment down below, let me know your thoughts about this, any questions, or what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future. I do plan on making tutorials and product reviews down the line for my fellow car enthusiasts or detailers, so be on the lookout for that. Now, to close the detail off, enjoy this stream of delicious chocolate milk pouring out of an extractor. Now, not a lot of product was used, but about a gallon's worth of muck and goop was pulled out from the fabrics, and sometimes I like to show the bucket to the owner of the vehicle because beautiful reactions are just priceless.
And that is it for this detailing video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up, and subscribe down below if you are interested in future content like this down the road. Anyways guys, thank you for watching, stay safe, and stay fresh.
Thank you.